Greetings all, Ferrari 601 here. Welcome back to War on the Sea and welcome aboard the USS New Jersey, Iowa-class battleship, here off of some semi-fictitious island in some semi-fictitious ocean. And our task today is pretty simple. We're just going to escort this merchant convoy of 4 merchant ships through, on the mini-map here, these straits through this channel. So basically we're playing, not quite Harbor Pilot, but we're playing Channel Escort today. So we need to go join up with them, so we're going to go do that presently. Let's make some speed and off we go. Shouldn't be too many things to worry about here. Nice weather, pretty calm seas. Should be a rather academic affair. Take a look at what they're doing. Yep, they're making some speed, probably around 15-ish knots. So we will join up with them and ensure their safe passage through the channel. This is their situation, obviously. It looks like they're making 14 knots. They are just gonna maneuver along their course through here. Just ordering a little bit of a heading change so that we can basically intercept them. We can use this opportunity for our guys up in spot 1 and spot 2 to do a little bit of sight work if they want. Just finish flicking the ship around so that we can cross the T, as it were. Over in this area, we've got a little bit of a harbor. The battleships Washington and Massachusetts are sitting there minding their own business, as is another merchant whaler. And of course, we've come out of there a little bit earlier to do this little maneuver. I am going to get my guys in the fire control directors to wake up a little bit, just start painting targets here on these merchant ships, just as an academic exercise. Get a fire control solution going for them, give those guys something to do. In terms of our passage through the channel alongside them, probably going to want to air to the right, just because we've got a little bit more space to play with on that side. So we'll do what we can. We will call all stop for the moment, just let them catch up. the engines into reverse here, slow down a little bit better. Cool. Right. So these guys will catch up to us. Their range is about 4,000 yards and closing. 14 knots we've got them pegged at right now. We will form up as required. But at this point, just it's a waiting game for them to form up to us, or for them to get into our general vicinity here. They are, let's see, about 100,000, yeah, 3,500 yards that we're getting from our fire control guys. So slowly but surely they will be closing. All right, so this merchant convoy getting a little bit closer. We're gonna start to maneuver ourselves so that we can join up a beam of them once they do come alongside us. That'll be good right about there. And we'll finish that maneuver once we are ready to come up alongside. Taking a look, their general condition looks to be good. It looks like they are ready to transit the straits. That will be wonderful.
going to start to make some speed toward their general direction. We will form up here just a beam of the convoy leader. Right. He's making a bit of a turn, not quite sure why. He's a little afraid of us. Shouldn't be. You're not quite sure what he is doing, actually. Perhaps we have kind of scared him a little, thinking that we're going to crash into him. We're not. Let's move off a little and see what he does. Because either way, we are going to transit the straits here, and they can follow if they want. Yeah, don't know what you're doing. They'll come back. He doesn't seem to be turning back, but maybe he will. We'll see. Either way, we will. Yeah, he's turning back now. Not quite sure why he's decided to put his entire formation into disarray, but that's what he's done. We'll slow up and let them regroup. Well, maybe he thought he was just going to send his guys through a loop and just make sure that they were all still paying attention at the helm, as it were. But whatever, obviously they're resuming course, and we'll all be wonderful. Tell our fire control guys that they have had enough fun. Right, so it looks like our convoy have sorted themselves out, so we are just going to get back up to speed here, basically match speed with them, and escort them through the channel. Cool stuff. So, the only thing that I really have to think about here is I have got a very large ship going into a somewhat restricted waterway with shallow water, so I gotta think about things a little bit like squat and bank effect if I get closer to the shoreline. But, for the most part, nothing really going on with this. Be okay as we are. Cool. Nice, just keeping abreast of the shallows. Plenty of draft under the hull though, so no real concerns with this. Let's just set longer term course straight out ahead. Right down the center of the channel. That should be good enough. C3, we're going to help him out a little bit and just join him up directly behind us. As he does not seem like he wants to do that on his own accord. We will join him up. And the rest of his group will follow, I do hope. Center his rudder for the moment, then we'll just straighten things out with minor corrections. We should be good. sort of sidestep this for a moment. Yeah, that should be pretty much it. Maybe some minor corrections will be required later on, but we should be more or less on the center line of the New Jersey, which will be very good for us to maintain general course. Good stuff. Very good stuff indeed, and the rest of his group looks like they are going to follow suit. This guy is running a little bit close to the shoreline for my personal preference, but he'll figure himself out. If he runs aground, well, we'll deal with that. Still coming along nicely here. We are just about to pass through the mouth of the channel on the northern end. We have still got our convoy in tow, minus this guy right here. What's his problem? His major malfunction is that he has basically run aground. Can we do anything with him? Throw him into reverse? All right, he's not entirely run aground. See what we can do with him. Just gotta get him turned a little bit. AI really are not all that good with this. Does not look like we have any damage though, so that's good. He stopped just before it would have been a problem. Get him dealt with. Now the question remains, do we stop the rest of the convoy while we get these guys together? Yeah, I guess we probably should. So we'll stop him, and in turn we will stop New Jersey. And then this idiot, no idea who the commanding officer of this vessel is, but he really needs to lose all of his credentials. So we will just clear the shallows here. And then we will form up to the end of the line here. Contact number 6. We'll see what we want to do. Well, this guy obviously has a little bit of ground to make up. We want to put him in formation once again with contact number 4. Contact number 5. Can't do anything with him. he's going to do what he's going to do. Number 3, just have him hold station where he is. This guy needs to make up the difference. All I can say is at least he had sense enough not to run aground, but he didn't have sense enough to back out of that situation. AI in this game definitely needs some work. It's bad enough that I've got to be thinking about the navigational hazards for a 50,000-ton battleship, never mind these roughly 8,000 to 10,000-ton merchant ships. Don't you people do your jobs? No, probably not. Just like in life, I tend to be the most competent person in the game world as well. These ships, though, they are fairly good examples of the Liberty ships that were very instrumental in basically winning World War II, at least in the Atlantic, as far as the Allied forces were concerned. These ships, let me see if I can pull up some information about these Liberty ships. These Liberty ships, for example, some specs on Jeremiah O'Brien, which is a Liberty ship currently based out of San Francisco. She is actually still an operational ship. 15,928 tons, 441 feet 6 inches long, with a 57-foot beam and a 27-foot draft triple expansion piston engine. Good for about 11 knots. There was another class of ship, also built around the same time, called the Victory ships, colloquially. The Victory ships, you could argue, is this a little bit more indicative of a Victory ship or a Liberty ship? There's an argument to be made either way. But the Victory ships were a little bit larger. 15,200 tons, 455-foot length and 62-foot beam, 28-foot draft. They had turbine engines and were capable of 15 to 18 knots. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. So perhaps this is a little bit more indicative of what is a Victory ship. One of them, Red Oak Victory, is a Victory ship that is currently under restoration at Richmond, California. She wants to, or the owners, the operators of Red Oak Victory want to make her operational and seagoing once again, like Jeremiah O'Brien. But yeah, perhaps this is a little bit more indicative of the Victory ships. Either way, they are rather slow and they are rather lumbering merchant vessels. They didn't have all that much in terms of armament and self-defense capability. So they would rely on usually destroyer or light cruiser escorts in terms of their transatlantic service, trying to keep the British Isles and Allied forces in mainland Europe supplied. But here, they're just a little bit of a cumbersome thing for us. Either way, target C3, form up. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. Okay. All right. So that's good. Type C3 is stopping. As we expect, formation reestablished. This guy needs to maneuver a little bit more now to realign itself with the stern of New Jersey. We do not have that much room to play with. So more or less line up with the port side of New Jersey, and I will be happy with that. Good enough. Call an all stop. And now back to my actual job, which is commanding officer on New Jersey. All ahead, make turns for 18 knots. And then make turns for 18 knots here on our victory ship, we'll call it. What the hell is the rest of the formation doing? The rest of the formation are now just, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand what they're doing. Just follow your leader. Whatever you do, follow your leader. Apparently that's too difficult for you people. If you guys can't transit the straits, then I don't know what to do. We're going to get one of you guys through. We need to take command of all of these ships, don't we? Yep, we do. Okay. Brake, rudder amidships, all stop. There we go. Type C3, he's fine. He's going to do whatever he's going to do. That is contact number 7. So number 7 is fine. Number 5 and number 4 and number 6 are in trouble. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're opening fire here. New Jersey reports new contact. Contact 1, ship bearing 0908. What is this? 0908, what's this along the coast? He fired. He probably doesn't know what he's looking at. What are we actually looking at here? What is this? Okay, we got a Japanese flag destroyer, and he's got something else. That's a follow shot from the, whoa, okay. What's happening here? This is Washington, the North Carolina class battleship sitting at anchor, not a problem. Massachusetts, South Dakota class battleship also sitting at anchor. This ship, another merchant, oiler, and contact number 2. Okay, so we have 2 ships made contact here. This is a Japanese destroyer, run aground, is a Kagero class destroyer. Contact number 2 appears to be another Kagero class destroyer, which has not run aground. And they're firing on somebody, firing on us probably. Type C3, contact 4 is, oh, wow. Okay, we got visual. This has escalated very quickly. We have visual Kagero number 1. We are going to target him. And they are firing on me. They are firing on me directly. Okay. Spot. Hold fire. Train main battery guns over there toward the Kagero. We're hit. We are hit. Believe it or not, we are hit. Looks like it just bounced off of the armor. Main battery. Load up high explosive rounds, please. Open fire. Main battery has open fire. Turrets 1 and 3. Turret 2 has not fired. Damage control situation on the port side. We have got a slight breach. This has escalated very quickly. Okay. Secondary battery. Train up here. Open fire. Main battery is continuing to open fire. They're firing on our merchant ships. That, is he hit? No, he's on an even keel. He's okay. We continue to open up with our main battery. He's hit. He's on fire. Contact 1, which has been lost, he's on fire. Contact 2 is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Hold fire on the main battery. He's hit. Absolutely, he has to be hit. Contact number 2, target. Main battery, fire. One of the merchants has been hit. Contact number 1 reestablished. Hold fire, main battery. Yeah, he's hit. He's hit badly as well. He's on fire and he's run aground, so he's in some serious trouble. We are probably going to be able to finish him off with our secondary battery, which is continuing to open fire. Kagero number 2. Fire. Right. All right, we've hit him. He's on fire as well. What's his situation? He's going to be losing power very quickly, I would think. Again, I've loaded high explosive rounds into the main battery guns, so we're looking to start a fire because these destroyers have limited damage control capability. Obviously, something like in Iowa that we're on, we can effectively rebuild ourselves if we had to. So, Contact 2 is laying smoke and he's on fire. Our damage control situation is fine. Our secondary battery is opening up. Kagero number 2 is sinking. All right. Main battery, hold fire. Secondary battery, hold fire. Kagero number 1. Whoa, we've been torpedoed. We have been torpedoed. All right, we're in some serious trouble here. We got fires breaking out in multiple compartments and flooding in multiple compartments. We've got flooding on the starboard forward. We have flooding in aft starboard as well. We have got a fire in one of the shaft alleys, and we have got flooding in the aft main battery magazine. Type C3, all engines reverse. All stop for engines on New Jersey. Contact number 4, type C3. All stop. Okay. Okay, we are in some serious trouble all of a sudden. Our turret 3 has been knocked out, at least temporarily. We have damage control parties dispatched to the aft magazine, as well as to our after compartments. We have fire spreading here. We need to get some damage control parties out to fight these fires. Okay, the flooding is less important than the fires. Okay, get the fires out first. We have a magazine explosion. We are well and truly screwed. Turret 3 is out. This guy needs to be taken out. So we're going to continue to fire on him. Main battery. Fire on him. And we are listing a bit to starboard. And the main battery is opening up. All right, we've hit him pretty badly. All right, contact number 1 is going down. Contact number 1 is sunk. Okay. Ceasefire, main battery. Ceasefire, secondary battery. Targets, stop. Cease plotting target solution. His shells are landing, and that'll be it. Type C3, his damage control situation is dire. Do you have any other damage to the other ships in the convoy? None, except for minor damage here, which maybe not even related to what just happened. However, New Jersey in some serious trouble, as is number 4 in the convoy, going down by the head, perhaps salvageable. 25 seconds here until we can get that fire under control in one of the after compartments. Good news is our engineering spaces are intact. We have 3 compartments that are breached in the forward starboard section. Forward magazine is intact. We are getting the fires under control. Right, fire under control in central shaft alley. Fire getting under control in the port shaft alley, and getting the flooding under control in the starboard shaft alley. Far as this guy, he's got another minute or so to start getting the fires under control. He will be okay in the long run, I think. Does have a lot of flooding, but those compartments can be repaired largely. New Jersey, we have got our flooding under control. Working to get our after magazine back in commission. We're going to have to address that starboard list that we've got. And we took torpedo hits, I think at least 2. Yeah, I think, yep, 2 torpedo hits, I can confirm. If there's one thing that was a little bit of a design flaw on the Iowas, it was that their torpedo defense was a little bit lacking, particularly in the forward section, which happens to be where we were hit. It does appear that we have got turret 3 back online. We really do need to be getting that fire out on contact 4. They're working on it. He is down severely by the head. Okay, Damage control parties are still working. Be nice to get the shaft alleys back together. Again, we're working on it. The after magazine is almost done. But he's well and truly on the bottom, as is this dude, well and truly on the bottom. That's what you get for messing with an Iowa. Just don't do it. This guy, he is still at least a minute away from starting to get his fires under control. What would be going on in reality here is because the battleship is more or less self-sufficient, we would be sending damage control parties over to him. Unfortunately, I don't have the capacity to do that at the moment. Okay, space is almost done. Center shaft alley is almost together, and the starboard side shaft alley is almost together. We no longer have any problems with turret number 3. I think all 3 turrets are back together. We will just confirm that in a moment. Yep, all 3 turrets are back together. Good. Starboard shaft alley is almost returned from critical status. All right, we'll continue repairs there. We have regained 87% of our top speed capability. After magazine is getting back together. Forward compartments are almost shored up entirely. Okay. So what I think we need to do at this point is to counterflood these 3 port side compartments so that we can try to return the ship to an even keel as much as possible. And I think we should probably counterflood these 2 compartments as well. I think the battleship should be pretty much ready to resume its service. Type C3, can we maintain 18 knots is the question. We've still got a fire up on the top side. We have still got critical damage to the bridge area. Again, their damage control capability is just not as good. Looks like he's capable of doing about 7 knots and no more. We've returned New Jersey to an even keel, so that's good. Sitting a little bit lower in the water, but these ships have a tremendous reserve of buoyancy, so that is not a problem. Looks like we can match speed with these guys for the moment. He's capable of about 7 knots. So we'll do 7 knots to match with him. His engineering spaces are in trouble, obviously, so we're working on that. Working on getting that fire out in the superstructure as well. And that fire is continuing to spread, so we really need to get that under control. All right, they've gotten fire out in the engineering space. Working on getting the fire out in the forward compartments. He took 1 torpedo. So that's the extent of the damage from 1 torpedo on the merchant ship, on the Victory ship, versus the damage from 2 torpedoes here on New Jersey. Remember, significant counter flooding as well has taken place to return the ship to an even keel. And you can see the result. Type C3, we couldn't save him. Contact 4 is going down. We couldn't save him. 1 torpedo took him out. 2 torpedoes just kind of spoil our day a little bit. Regardless, this guy is now the convoy leader, I suppose. He is going to be making 14 knots. We're going to turn that up to 18 knots. I don't think he took any damage. Nope, none. Right, so we're going to tell the other ships in the convoy to join up on us. That'll be about that. That is a great shame, though, for this guy. Why would you swing your stern around like that? That was just stupid. Well, New Jersey, what can we do here in terms of max speed? Our damage control situation is stable. We can still manage 25 knots. Not bad. Not bad at all, but obviously not the ideal situation to be in either. can see, we are just sitting a little lower in the water than we normally would, but still perfectly seaworthy. Ship's not in any danger. We could still go anywhere in the world, and we have our primary and secondary armament intact. So that is good. But yeah, escorting a convoy. Unfortunately, we lost a ship. Not what I wanted. But we did transit the straits, and that was ultimately the objective here, and that's what we have managed to do. And 2 torpedo hits, which was interesting, but we have managed to survive.